3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to episode 2 of season 4 of the Stumped podcast. I'm Spencer.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Logan.
Our intros have gotten a little more smooth since season 1, where Logan would delay. So
they're all good until the next episode.
I want you guys to know that every single episode, I think I should delay to be funny, and I'm like, no, it's not funny the 7th time.
I thought about that too right now. Right before this episode.
How long can I beat that dead horse?
Well, gentlemen.
Wait. Speaking of dead horses.
Oh, yeah.
So concerned.
This morning, on my commute to work, my vehicle was assaulted, unprovoked, by a deer. I was driving on Apple Creek Road, going a considerate 52 miles an hour, following someone with a car behind me. Deep ravines to both sides, open fields, but it's like 6:40 in the morning, so it's pitch black. This deer jumps the ravine into the side of my car.
I actually know exactly. I drive on Apple Creek Road a lot because obviously I work out by you. And so I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was right past that light. Like if you're getting off 30 and you're heading towards the Pines, there's that light. I went past that light right through. I'm driving down there, jumped the ditch into the side of my car.
So, but you had almost 100,000 miles on that car in 2 years.
Yes.
So and that was a brand new car. So you gotta, do you know what you're going to get from insurance, or can you just swap it out with a brand new car and that works out for the best?
Oh, dude, I wish. No, because it was new, we got full coverage. So we have like a small deductible it's going to hit, and they'll cover the rest and pay for a rental until it's fixed. So
not only is this an atrocity for your car.
Oh, it is.
You killed a deer on Steve Irwin theme.
Actually, did the deer walk away?
I have no idea. I can't fathom walking away from a collision with a car. But there's people. It's pitch dark. There's headlights behind me. Like I didn't have time to survey the deer, so I don't know. But Steve Irwin Day, bad timing on my part.
Irwin.
I know.
Well, anyways, to catch us up for those who might have missed, Matt, you want to kind of give a brief overview why we talk about Steve Irwin?
Yeah. So changing things up this episode or this season. And we are all doing the same theme. So at the end of each episode, we'll spin the wheel, and it'll tell us what theme we're going to choose. Last week, we all did bridges. This week, we spun the wheel, and our theme was Steve Irwin.
Yep.
Steve.
Steve.
I remember the show. Was it the Crocodile Hunter? I can't remember the exact what it was called.
There was I think there's a few different ones, but the Crocodile Hunter
it
was, I believe, the OG.
Yeah,
that was his main run.
Yeah, and I was so young. We all were really, but I remember some clips here and there. But preparing for this podcast, I actually was reading the Wikipedia article on him, and that dude was just a good guy through and through.
Dude, such a good guy,
dude. So much.
Saturday mornings learning about animals will just never be the same for any children.
There's rarely a person in society that when something tragic happens, everyone is sad.
The world stopped,
yeah,
man.
Literally,
stopped.
No one has anything bad to say about him. Like, everyone you talk to that he interacted with day in and day out was just, 10 out of 10 dude.
It's the same with his family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because
his son is, identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his son's taking over.
Yeah.
But because I read that too, and so here's something crazy too. It's because I don't remember much about him. I just remember he was outdoorsman, loved creatures, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, reading through his life, I'm like, this dude was just a good guy. And then as I did research, I have to pick a bone with someone. Logan, you said no one or everyone liked him.
Yeah.
But I found this article, and I'm going to publicly call this guy out. Phil Mishnick, wrote an article in the New York Post on January 11, 2004 at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, stating, ready? Headlining, Steve Irwin, no friend to animals.
Really?
The title of the episode.
Are you kidding me, Mr. Phil? I'll call you out. I don't know where you're at. Talking about how he provokes them. Oh my god.
That dude was one of the greatest conservationists ever. That is
Like,
a friend to every animal.
he is the Australia Zoo.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
This
Anyways,
fool.
does anyone have themes within their themes? Because I do.
Yes, always.
Take it away. What do you have?
So I had to go a different route. Okay,
Of
obviously,
course.
when we are researching one particular theme and it's one guy, there's only so many stories that you could possibly tell about him. I said, okay. I started reading some stuff about Steve, and I said, you know what? There's some of the things he says that I just want to run through a wall for. And so I got 3 Steve Irwin monologues that will make you want to run through a wall and get inspired.
We might have to create a new rule that says like a specific order, because the amount of anxiety that just hit me as Spencer took 70 minutes to tell us his theme, just in case you had any of my themes, was insane.
Yeah. So this does bring up a question though, and we kind of joke about this, but for those who don't know, because we're doing one theme, we're all writing extra stories for the most part. Like Matt, how many stories do you have in case they overlap?
I have 4 true stories that are well written, that are written, 2 false stories, and then I have 3 more true stories that, if needed to be, I could pull them out and try to remember everything that goes on.
I gave you claps for that. That is so much effort.
Logan, how many
And
do you
I'm
have?
supposed to be studying. If I fail, it's the podcast's fault.
Steve Irwin's fault.
Logan, how many do you have?
So I wrote an extra true story. So I have 3 true stories written, and I just one false because my thoughts are, if you steal my false story, something's wrong, because I just
What's
came
your
up with it.
theme? What's your theme?
Okay, so I did Steve Irwin, close brushes with death. Yeah, take a sigh of relief, and hopefully that means you didn't do the same.
And Matt, where are you going?
So this is why I had to come up with multiple stories, because I figured if one of us chose the same theme, we're going to know most of those stories.
Oh, yeah.
So I have 2 themes that I think I'm going to go the cameo route.
Okay.
So I have movies, TV shows that Steve Irwin basically made a small snippet cameo aspect in, but I also have commercials that Steve Irwin was in. And I might just flip a coin when it comes to my turn and determine which one I go from there.
Matt, I'm going to give you some stress right now.
Oh, no.
One of those themes I researched.
Oh, no.
Carefully.
Okay.
This sucks.
Question. Did any of you look up other Steve Irwins?
I thought about it.
I did.
I 100% did.
I did.
I thought about it.
That was my first theme, actually.
Yep. Same.
I was going to go non-Steve Irwin, Steve Irwins.
Yeah.
But couldn't find enough about it. It was too bad. And then I found that article on New York Post, and I said, no. Steve Irwin said so many good things. He deserves to be. So
that was 100% my first theme too, and I couldn't find a single one to even like be interesting.
one.
Yeah.
Not one.
Like there's like an accountant on LinkedIn in Nebraska. I'm like I can't tell about this guy. So yeah, I had to pivot.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
I can take us away.
I think that's a good idea, Matt.
Which one are you going with, Matt?
I'm gonna flip a coin.
He is so nervous.
I'm so nervous. I spent more time on this episode than I have ever spent on any episode.
Well, okay. How much of that had to do with the fact that you didn't eat food for 48 hours? Like, was this a way to kill time?
A little bit, yeah. It was definitely a way to kill time.
Okay.
100%. 100%.
Same.
We're gonna go with commercials.
Ooh, I watched them all. Go ahead.
Spencer? I hate this.
Just give us one true commercial, one true story, and then you're false. You know, it's easy.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear him, Matt.
I could just totally spin this, you know? Alright. We've got the Better Courier, chicken, or a buffalo, or both. Steve, the Ocean Explorer.
Go the Ocean Explorer.
Yeah, R.I.P.
The Ocean Explorer. All right. Gosh dang it. What did Steve love? Logan?
Animals.
Okay, Spencer?
Nature.
You guys are both really close. While it's true he loved animals, specifically crocodiles, what Steve loved most was education. And better yet, going into nature, where do you go, Spencer?
Thank you.
And learning all about it. Well, the ocean is one of those places that we just don't know all that much about. But a company called Oceanic Explorer wanted to change that. Kind of. And Steve was all on board in 2001. The commercial starts with Steve standing on the beach in his classic khaki shirt and shorts, looking for crocodiles where the jungle/forest meets the beach. Steve finds a crocodile just as he sees a cameraman zooming in on him, pretending to be, or acting, to be startled by the crocodile or the cameraman. Steve yells, and I quote, "Crocky, I didn't see you there." You know what else most people don't often see? The bottom of the ocean. The camera pans to the ocean, where it transitions to Steve underwater, to where I can only assume that he is standing in front of a green screen and they slap some ocean scene in front of him with good old 2001 CGI. Steve begins to explain how amazing this Oceanic Explorer is and all of its state-of-the-art features, from a high-resolution camera to powerful lights to see your adventures. The commercial ends with a quick side effects or warning audio about what you should not do with this product as Steve proceeds to pretend to use the product in front of, again, what I can only imagine is a green screen. Ironically, one of the warnings was to not use the device in the deep of the ocean. The commercial ends with Steve back on the beach, wet hair, and saying, and I quote, "Imagine the possibilities," as he winks and smiles at the camera.
Interesting. I'm just
Okay.
sad you didn't pick the best Steve Irwin commercial of all. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
we all know the best one, Sports Center.
Absolutely.
I couldn't pick that one.
So
I'm
funny.
gonna see if I can use it in the video.
Hilarious commercial.
That's the best one of the
Hannah
world.
told me I need to incorporate that somehow, so she'll be happy to hear this.
All right, so the other two are the better courier, or chicken, or a buffalo, or both.
Chicken.
I was saying the same thing, Logan.
Chicken. Alrighty. It's the early 2000s, and Steve has partnered with a surprising brand to make a killer commercial. What do you think it is, Logan?
Chick-fil-A.
What do you think it is, Spencer?
I know it, so I'm not going to say it. I'm joking. I have no idea. Did your heart drop a little bit? Though?
My heart dropped a little bit. I think
I'll go. Buffalo
irregular
Wild
beats
Wings.
going on right now.
I'll go Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. The commercial starts with our man Steve on a river in his handy canoe, tracking the elusive buffalo chicken. Steve begins to explain how hard it is to find this creature as we see him walking through different terrain. All of a sudden, Steve comes across a clue. He dips down and using fingers, he scoops up Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Sauce. Steve hushes the viewers and tells us that we're close to the buffalo chicken. He moves some foliage, and you see, can you guess, Logan?
A buffalo with wings.
Okay, Spencer?
A chicken wing.
Oh, that's right, a Subway.
Oh, gosh.
The commercial then goes into detail about the new Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Chicken Sandwiches and how they're only available for a limited time. The commercial ends with Steve posing with a sandwich and a crocodile behind him growling. To which Steve responds, and I quote, "Crikey!" as the commercial comes to an end.
I have to believe that. That's like peak 2000s, early 2000s stuff right there.
That is. Oh, gosh. Okay.
That's
Alrighty.
good.
So the last one, the better courier. A long fought battle. Who is better, FedEx or UPS? Logan?
Boy, that's tough. I mean, UPS is the go-to.
I'm going
Spencer.
UPS.
Well, Steve seemed to have an opinion on this topic as he starred in a FedEx commercial in 2000.
Oh.
The commercial begins with Steve holding the most venomous snake in the world and explaining that one bite from this snake and it's all over. Guess what the snake does next? It bites him.
No.
The audacity. As all the viewers begin to freak out, Steve explains that they had the anti-venom shipped from America via FedEx because, and I quote, "In my line of work, if you aren't absolutely sure, you're absolutely dead." As soon as he finishes that statement, a crew member whispers something in his ear. Steve, alarmed, says, and I quote, "Oh, crikey! It appears we have used a different courier who hasn't arrived yet. It's okay because..." Steve's eyes roll to the back of his head and he falls over. The commercial fades to black as the FedEx logo appears with the words, "Be absolutely sure," underneath.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. Also funny.
So we've got the better courier, chicken, or buffalo, or both, and Steve, the ocean explorer.
Remember any of these, Spence?
I know one for a fact.
I'm so concerned that he did all the research on specifically commercials and not cameos.
I was hoping you picked commercials. But
You were?
I was, and you got one of them, and then there was a Toyota one as well. I think there was. Now I'm blanking. I thought it was Toyota.
I thought you were gonna, because you talked about the show earlier. I thought you were gonna be like, I researched the TV shows and movies that he was in.
Nope. I did not.
Dang it! I thought too much into it.
And by research, there's a little tab on Wikipedia about it.
Nice.
So
Man.
I don't know the other two though.
I'm taking a shot in the dark with mine. I've not seen these. You hit my Amish days. I am. Yeah, and I should have watched his commercials because I did a lot of research on him, and some were funny. I saw the Sports Center one.
I'm locked in.
Sports
I'm
Center
locked
was
in as well.
Phenomenal.
It was.
All right, what'd you guys choose?
Spencer, tell us first.
I want to see what I went. One. I went
Steve, the ocean explorer.
that one.
Yeah. You also went number one.
Also went one. Showed it to the camera. So
That's tough.
either no one has been stumped yet, or we get our first double stump of the season.
Yes, because I know for a fact the FedEx one's true. That one's true.
That's
So
hilarious.
FedEx is true.
That one's true.
It is true.
That was on Wikipedia.
That's
Was
so
it really?
funny.
That
Okay,
was
the
on
commercial
Wikipedia.
for it's hysterical.
I could have
it's
sworn
beautiful.
there was a Toyota one too. That was right next
Oh,
to
there
it.
were a lot. There was
Were there a
there
lot?
was one where it's like a train that goes through Australia, and he
Yep.
jumps down and catches it like a snake.
Yep, that's the other one.
They
I
were
saw.
beautiful.
The-
Unfortunately, Steve, the ocean explorer,
is true.
is not true at all.
It's not true at all.
100% made up.
Oh wait.
Gosh, dang I spent so much time on these.
I apologize in advance. Instead of clapping, I played our intro music for the last 10 seconds.
No, the Subway.
I should have gone to the cameos.
The Subway one was like, I'm like, man, Subway, Steve Irwin, maybe, I don't know, but the ocean water, I feel like he'd be so against that. I don't know why.
That's what I was slightly concerned about while writing. I was trying to make it.
I hadn't seen
like
any.
He wasn't.
The other two were just like that early 2000s commercial ad was so entertaining. Like
Yeah.
they would just make the most random off the wall commercials, and both of those were that. And so I was like, I have to both of those have to be true.
Dang.
Yeah.
And the Ocean Explorer one was good, but it didn't have that same off the wall early 2000s feel.
Yeah,
it was just a
fair.
trust the gut moment.
Yep, I agree with that. The
Dang.
FedEx one, as soon as you said FedEx, I was like, I know that one. The other two, I didn't know. But those were good.
Yeah.
It's funny because I don't remember any of the commercials at all. Like, I literally read the
I should have done the cameos. That's okay. I have the cameos for another episode then.
Okay, gentlemen. I'll start us off. I'll go second.
You'll start us off. Get the
Yep,
get out of
I
here.
misspoke. I'll go second.
Alrighty.
So here we go. It's inspirational monologues, or
Inspirational.
yeah, inspirational monologues. Makes me want to run through a wall, kind of.
So you made one of these up.
Potentially.
Oh, well, theoretically. So I'm going to have to listen to
Theoretically.
these. And the two that make me actually want to run through a wall are true. And the one that makes me want to, like, I don't know, sit and cry in the shower, that's probably from Spencer.
Okay, here we go. Okay. What good is a fast car, flashy house, and a gold-plated dunny to me? Absolutely no good at all. I've been put on this planet to protect wildlife and wilderness areas, which in essence is going to help humanity. I want to have the purest oceans. I want to be able to drink water right out of the creek. I want to stop the ozone layer, and I want to save the world. You know money? Money's great. I can't get enough of money. But you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to buy wilderness areas with it. Every single cent goes straight into conservation. And guess what? I don't give a rip whose money it is, mate, because I'll spend it on buying land.
When was this said?
Not a clue.
To whom was it said?
Not a clue.
All right, all right.
Okay.
Give me the next.
The next one. Here we go. Is there anything in this world that would want to make me give up what I'm doing right now? Yes, there is. When my children can take the football that I called wildlife conservation and run it up. When they are ready to run up the mission, I will gladly step aside. I guarantee you it will be the proudest moment of my life. My job will be done like my mom and my dad. Then and only then will I know I have achieved my ultimate goal, to be able to stand aside and let them run up my mission. The opposition is hard and it keeps coming, but I ain't stopping until my kids run it up for me. Then I'll stand aside like my dad.
Proud father. His kids are
I
doing
hate
it.
that we can't see his facial expressions.
I know. You can't see his tail this year. You have to
No.
think that, like, Steve's somewhere smiling down on his kids right now because they 100%
For sure.
did it, if that quote's
Yeah,
real.
but part of me thinks that he would have wanted his kids to do their own thing.
Nah, that's true, too. Did Spencer make that up to play with my emotions?
Yeah, exactly. He brought it up already today. We already brought up the kids earlier.
Oh, you're right.
Um,
Okay. Conservation.
I don't know, dude.
Conservation. That is beauty. There's nothing more incredible than witnessing the resilience of creatures we share this planet with. From the tiniest insects to the mighty predators, every critter has a role to play. It's our responsibility to be their voices, their protection, so that the future generations can marvel at the wonders of the wild. I want to be remembered for my passion for wildlife. I want to take this passion inside me, ball it up, and push it into everyone I talk to. I can't do all this by myself. I can't save every animal, but as long as I'm on this planet, I gotta try.
Can you
3 epic monologues.
do me one favor
Yep.
and reread them all in your best Steve Irwin accent?
Practice, mate.
The disrespect.
That hurt me to hear.
Oh, Logan, what are you thinking, man?
I think I've heard one of these.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The other two, I'm really torn between. Number one, flags, because him putting the word mate in at the very end would be such a Spencer move in writing this. Like, let me just throw a mate in here at the end. That would 100% just be something I could see Spencer typing at night and being like, it doesn't sound Australian enough. Number two, he 100% brought up the kids earlier. Plays with the emotions. I don't know. I read a lot about Steve over this. I don't know if I ever heard him talk about wanting his kids, like his mission being his kids to do what he does. I always thought he was very much do your own thing. So I kind of have some questions there. And 3 is, I don't know for sure, but I think I heard 3. Like, I think I've seen some quotes from that monologue.
So 3 was the one I don't think I've heard any of these, so they all sound somewhat convincing. 3 was the one I definitely thought I had heard, but like, it's such a thought that it's like
It's so generic, it's hard.
I could have had a dream where I said something similar, and
Yeah.
I was fighting crocodiles with
Fighting crocodiles.
Get some wild dreams when we don't eat, man.
So I talk to my sleep both nights, but I obviously don't dream. So Hannah had a more wild time than I did because apparently I was talking up a storm.
Alrighty, I think I am locked in. Yeah, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
I don't know what this is gonna.
What do we go with, gentlemen?
I went with number 2. I went with the children.
2 as well.
Children.
The children. We both went with 2. Oh no!
I'm telling you, if we go 5 straight stories without a stumped,
I know.
I kind of hope he did something.
We'll start with number 1, the flashy car. That's true. That's
Okay.
100% true.
Okay.
That I saw. So I can send both videos. So I watched. The reason I don't know who he was talking to is he was in an interview both times.
Okay.
It was just him, and so I literally, as he was talking, I was writing what he was saying. So one is true. It cracked me up because he was like, "I don't care whose money it is. I'm spending it for conservation, baby."
mate.
That I
Mate.
saw that video and I was like screaming, "Conservation!"
Spencer sells his newly bought Xbox and goes back.
I know.
Supports
I
a kangaroo
Someone
or
gave
something.
it to me. Let me be clear. Someone gave it to me. Okay.
You can buy Scotland cows, stuffed
Yeah.
animal cows, and support a cow in Scotland.
Okay.
Yeah, weird.
Logan, did you hear the line "conservation that is beauty"? Is that what you thought you heard from
In
that
3?
That's why. Yeah.
Yes, it was one. Yeah, it was that, and there was another line. There's 2 like single lines that you heard in there that I was definitely like, I think he said that. Yeah.
Yeah. Conservation that is beauty was my mastermind.
So that was you.
That was me, baby.
Dang.
That was me.
The third one?
The third one is completely false. So the second one's true. I was literally tearing up as he's talking about it. If you need to watch this video, I'm literally like tearing up as he's crying like in this. And I'm like typing this out. I'm like, oh my gosh, he loves his kids.
You got 2 points out of this?
I got
Oh
2.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
so 2 is completely
Trash.
true. That was an interview about, he was talking about, I think they asked him, would you ever give up what you're doing? And he said, only if my kids, or when my kids take it over for me, that is when I would give it up. And I would step aside.
Dang.
And so,
Dang.
yeah. So 3's false. Conservation, that is beauty. And then, yeah, I made that one up.
That's good
Dang.
job. Good job.
You use such like buzzwords in that 100% sounded real.
Yeah. I actually read through that. Do you know how you like read your fake story and you're like, they're gonna get this 100%. But
Yeah.
it's so much harder on the other side.
Yeah.
I read that. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like it. I rewrote it. I did it a couple times. But
You
yeah,
used
that one's false.
every buzzword in the books, and it caught me.
Yeah, you got it. Well done. Well done. You got 3 points right now, man.
Yeah. So Logan, Matt, you're eliminated.
For this episode, yeah, you can't get any points.
Yeah, I
No.
can't score.
Logan's
anything.
got a double stump. Here.
And then
Oh.
for me and him to get the half-point split.
Double stump it.
Now, if you're Matt, you should want the half-point split because it keeps us closer to
I
you.
should want the double stump. Yes, but it's gonna be tough to match with.
So if Spencer tries any sort of bargain with you, you should really consider that.
I have a feeling he won't. He's gonna go for the gold.
I'm going for the gold.
Yeah.
All right.
See.
Okay, Logan, let's hear it.
I have 3 Steve Irwin stories about
What?
his close encounters with death. So, do you want Steve versus Graham, a 2-part special story? Do you want Steve gets kidnapped, or do you want Steve Irwin, Dragon Slayer?
Dragon Slayer.
Yeah,
Please give me the Dragon
100%.
Slayer.
All right. While filming an episode of The Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin went in pursuit of one of the largest and deadliest lizards on the planet, the Komodo dragon. Steve found one, and as he was giving his monologue on the dangerous creature, he noticed it had a fishing hook caught in its mouth. Never one to let an animal be harmed, he wanted to help get the hook out. Unfortunately for Steve, the lizard didn't see the encounter in the same light and began chasing Steve with its mouth wide open, trying to bite him. Steve sprinted away and began climbing a tree with the attacking lizard hot on his heels. Perched high in the tree, Steve looked down to discover the lizard had actually clipped the heel of his boot, leaving a single tooth sunk into the leather exterior and poking directly into his socks. He had literally been within an inch of being bitten by one of the most venomous lizards on the planet, one capable of killing a human within hours. He called himself a, quote, knucklehead for trying to get the hook out in the first place.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I don't even know where Komodo dragons are at, so I don't. Okay.
All right. Do you want Steve gets kidnapped or Steve versus Graham, a 2-part special story?
Give me the gram. I'm curious what the gram is.
All right. Steve Irwin, a.k.a. the Crocodile Hunter, certainly knew his way around close encounters with one of the deadliest animals on Earth. That didn't, however, make him immune to their tricks. While filming an episode of The Crocodile Hunter and trying to show an audience how to lasso a croc named Graham, he lured the reptile out of the water. As he tried to put the rope around its snout, the croc pounced. It caught Irwin by the hand and dragged him into the water so quickly the backup security, often tasked with protecting Steve, didn't have time to react. The croc went into a death roll, a method by which the croc will disorient and drown their prey. Fortunately, however, Steve's hand gave way and the teeth, quote, pulled through his hand, and he managed to get away. He was left with a bloody hand, but the teeth had miraculously missed all major tendons and bones in his hand. He called the incident, quote, a dangerous mistake I'll never make again, but in true Steve fashion, refused to blame Graham for the run-in. I couldn't find out how good of a memory crocs have, but Graham seemed to hold a grudge after this event. Because in a second encounter, Steve and his good friend Wes Mannion found themselves clearing some debris out of a fence after a recent flood. They knew several crocs were around, including Graham, but generally felt safe working by the fence. Graham and his girlfriend, quote-unquote, Bindi, lived near the fence, however, and upon getting too close to the croc's territory, Graham lunged and grabbed Wes by the leg. In a matter of seconds, he had pinned Wes to the fence, taking a big bite out of his leg. In a literal life-or-death reaction, Steve leapt on Graham's tail and pulled the croc away from his friend. Again, Graham's aim was off, as he did get a chunk of Wes's leg requiring 150 stitches, but no major arteries or bones were severed.
I have no idea.
That's
I have
a
no
lot of
idea.
luck.
A lot of luck. The last
Okay,
story,
what's the third one?
Steve
Yep.
gets kidnapped. While working with a rescue organization in Sumatra, which is in Indonesia, Steve got to observe a family of orangutans. Orangutans are incredibly intelligent and emotional creatures, so generally the rules of engagement with them are simply avoid direct contact of any form. Steve, however, wanted to get close and connect with the animals. So carefully he sat near the mother orangutan and observed as she interacted with her 3 young children. Then, without much of a warning, the mother turned, walked up to Steve. She grabbed him by the arm and began dragging him into the woods. Orangutans, for those who don't know much about them, are incredibly strong animals, and Steve knew that fighting back or resisting in any way could turn the mother violent. He played limp as she drug him, occasionally even swinging him around by his arm, for over a quarter of a mile into the Sumatran jungle. Despite several bones in his wrist breaking from the force of her grip and the rough ride, he maintained his cool, never making a noise or fighting back. Finally, she released him and went back to her family. He described the encounter as, quote, the most helpless I have ever felt in my life, truly an awe-inspiring animal. He would go on to surmise that his proximity to her children had made him a threat in her eyes. She simply wanted him to move. If she had wanted to do him harm, he said, she very easily could have.
I don't even have an idea.
I mean, good, classic, good story.
Those are great stories. I don't even have an idea.
I think one is true. I feel like I've heard that before. Now, these are maybe easy to come up with, just because what are some experiences that could result in life or death? One, I feel like I've heard that before. I feel like it's true. It could have easily switched it from, a fish to something
locked
like
in.
that. Oh, you're locked in.
Yeah.
Wow.
You gonna tell me what you locked in?
No, I'm not listening to. I literally was like, I'm not gonna listen to a word Matt says. I'm just gonna go with my gut.
That's how much he trusts you, Matt.
That's how much I trust myself. What's your gut say? I want to know.
I ain't telling you nothing.
What does your gut say, Matt?
My gut says that I'm locked in.
All right. Now, before we get your answers, I would like to say
okay.
I read like 12 close encounters with animals with him where he almost died. The dude never once blamed an animal. Every single time it was like, nope, I was
He's a
in their
great guy.
habitat. Yeah,
He knew the risk of the job, man.
100%. I was like, that's incredible. Incredibly, the perspective was just through the charts. Anyway,
No, these
Matt,
Shamu people.
Please tell me you put the bamboo one. Or
what did you lock in?
The monkey one.
What'd you lock in?
I locked into the crocodile.
I locked in 3.
I hope that's it. Those were the 2 I was debating on. I wasn't gonna go with 1, and so if 1's true, then I can live with that. I was literally between the 2 and 3.
One was the Dragon Slayer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One's true. That happened.
I get a point.
Yep. That's what sucks.
So
Dang it.
I know,
What?
Matt.
I'm not happy about scoring points. I don't score a lot, so this is not good for me.
I'm truly. I put 2 solely because my gut was screaming 2, but 3 in my brain was lighting off a million red flags. A million red flags.
So, let's start with 3. Steve
Yep.
gets kidnapped. That is false. I made that story
Yeah.
up.
Gosh dang it, I got a point for nothing.
Yeah, you should have picked 1 if you thought it was true.
Why?
Because then you would have got,
You
me
wanted
and
to
Spencer
split.
get
I didn't
half a
think
point.
he was going to speak it. I don't think he was going to think it was true.
Well, anyway, he did work with a rescue organization in Sumatra with orangutans. That's true. I made up the entire story about the close brush with death.
See,
But he
that's-
had several good quotes about, working with the animals, how intelligent they were. So I
Yeah.
just made up a violent encounter to...
I figured there's no way he's that. Like, all his things were calculated risk.
Dude, he
There's
let...
no way he would be.
One of his stories, and this, I couldn't make it long enough to really be entertaining. He let the most venomous snake in the world lick his face in the wild.
That's
Like, there was a certain level of stupidity, too. So,
Yeah.
that was...
Well,
that-
yeah, but like
yeah.
he's got a crew with him. He's got stuff ready to
Yeah.
go. Like orangutan, there's nothing anybody can do for him.
He
So-
also bowed in front of a hippo from point blank range. Also, nothing
I do-
anyone can do with you. That was another one.
That's fair, but like the orangutan again, like that's the only one that's.
Yeah.
That was the only one of the stories where like he was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Everything else he was helping clean up. He was trying to help the animal.
The orangutan one, that was the one I was like, okay, I remember a clip of him like holding an orangutan's hand, or at least maybe I'm making that up and that's what I think I remember. And so I'm like, oh gosh, so many red flags in my head, but I couldn't escape 2. I guess it doesn't matter. Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
How is I supposed to?
That hurts just a little bit.
Why does this always come back to me? This is trash.
So, for those keeping track at home, by Matt getting that wrong, Spencer got 3 this episode. I got 2. Matt got 1. And that means Spencer wins the episode, so he receives a full point,
A full point.
which now makes the score 1.5 Spencer,
Yeah.
1/2 Matt and Logan. And yeah, that stings just a little bit.
That is so. What I thought about today about our point system, it truly 1 point is this early is so minimal. Like, it's still gonna be such a close. It's gonna be a
I
close.
thought the
season.
same thing in all of the other ones, and the next thing you notice, I'm
You're-
eating
you're
12
down by
hot
16
dogs.
points.
Oh, 2 points isn't that bad.
Eating
3 points
12
isn't that bad. Oh, 4
hot
points
dogs.
isn't that bad. 10 points is kind of a lot.
All right, well, Spencer,
Well, I get to choose what goes on the wheel.
correct. I was just about to ask you. I just pulled it up.
Do we have the extra options, or do I get to go pick anything I want?
Anything you want. I mean, I can give you
Anything you
ideas. I have a
want, yeah.
bunch, but if you got an idea, give it to me.
Well, can you read me what's on the wheel again so I don't overlap? I had a few
Yes.
ideas.
We have USA is greater than Britain.
That's amazing.
Hoorah.
I had I had to give applause. Presidents, epic fails, inventions, Vikings, Florida man, anything, superhuman feats, and diamonds in the rough.
Oof. Those are all good.
Phenomenal.
Okay. I'm gonna go only because yesterday during my drive, I got on a big kick with the ancient wonders of the world, and so I listened to a few podcasts about different ancients. So we're gonna go ancient wonders of the world.
I can't fit all that in a line.
Just do what? Just do
do ancient wonders.
World.
Oh, it did
Yeah,
fit.
ancient
It
wonders.
fit. It fit. Oh my gosh.
That's
It
a
is.
good one.
It's
That's a tough
small
one.
and there's ... but it'll pull up. All right. Are we ready to spin this wheel?
Yep.
As long as you face it towards your camera.
I will. I'm going to start the screen recording.
I'm so scared. You don't have to screen record it if you just put it up against the
2,
camera.
Please
One.
be American versus Britain. Or,
And here we
please.
go.
Please.
You guys
Come
see
on.
it from me.
Let it spin. Itch.
Diamond.
Diamond.
Diamonds
Oh, I
in
can
the
tell. I
rough.
can tell life stories.
Okay.
Stop recording.
There
Stop.
are so many options you can go with.
Dude.
Diamond. This can go
I
so
have
far.
so many options on this.
You have options. Already?
Yeah, I've been
I'm not concerned.
researching this one for a long time. I was actually going to do this season. So, will it be good? I
That's
don't know, but
unfortunate.
I got a
Logan's
lot of
already
stories.
cheating. Well, for the usual, gentlemen, always a blast.
Oh, for sure.
And Steve Irwin,
time.
you are a legend. Shout out to you and your family.
For real.
And screw you, Phil, whoever wrote
Yeah.
that article.
Dale.
Officially hate Phil. Phil, if you're listening
Yeah.
to this, you're the one subscriber. They can leave.
Phil is public enemy number 1.
But for the rest of you, if you love your friends and family, tell them about us.
Yes.
Yes.
Please share.
If you don't, we
Like
only
us,
assume
Steve.
you hate your friends and family.
follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
I can only imagine Steve would listen to us.
Oh, 100%. Steve Irwin would be a guest on this podcast.
You know what? What if we get his son to guest appear?
Oh my goodness.
I'll send a DM.
Do it.
Send that DM.
We're in.
I've sent
After this clip of this one goes live, send him that DM.
I've sent
Yeah.
weirder, trust me.
Oh, I'm now really new topic.
with our podcast DMs.
Okay.
No,
Any
I'm
last
kidding.
words, gentlemen? Any last words?
I don't like this. I
Phil,
don't like this.
Phil, keep your head on a swivel.
Yep.
Any
You never
deer
know
out-
where we're gonna be.
Any deer out
See,
there?
that was- you'll
Keep your
be
head
on-
on a swivel.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Well, gentlemen, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, toodaloo.
Peace out.